think the most annoying one is like, oh my God, you're so tall. I'm like,
You're like,
bro,
no shit.
And you're like, I
like,
am?
I do. I always say that. Like, I just need to. And they're like, you're serious? No one's ever told you that? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
You just gotta play with them. You're like, no, not one person, not one time.
No, I do sometimes. Except I'm in my head. I'm like, do you really think no one's ever told me that? Like,
In my
it's
head, I'm like, I could squish you.
like exactly. It's
You're
so
weak.
funny. And like my guitar player, we were on this little run of shows, and like he was with me the whole time, like when people were asking how tall I was and telling me how tall I was and stuff. And he's like, dude, you just gotta say like the most outrageous number, like, and just like see what people think.
And they'll believe you.
They'll believe. So I started saying 7'9" to some people, and they're like, "Whoa! Like you're the tallest person I've ever met." I'm like, "Really? Like that's a whole foot taller than I am."
Hey, welcome back to another episode of On The Porch with Front Porch Music with me, Logan Miller, and Jenna Weiser, who didn't show up today. So it's just me doing this intro. Just kidding, we're apart this weekend. So it's just me doing the intro here, but today we have a great episode for you. We talked to a fairly newcomer to the industry, Brayden King. There's been quite a bit of buzz around him lately. He made it to the top 55 of American Idol. And so we talked a lot to him about that, about what the experience was like going into the room, meeting Ryan Seacrest, meeting Lionel Richie, Katy Perry, Luke Bryan. And we just talked about the whole circus around that. And it's really quite fascinating to hear what that experience is like. So here's our episode with Brayden King.
The tallest man in the world was 8'9", so he's got 2 whole feet on you.
Holy crap!
Yeah. He died when he was like 20. I'm gonna go to that now.
Oh man.
Anyway, here we are with Brayden King.
Yeah.
If you hadn't guessed.
I beat him in age, but he beat me in height. I'll take age.
Yep.
Yeah.
Clearly, there's an optimal height to live a longer life.
Yeah.
And it's,
well, with the amount that I hit my head, I don't think it is 6'9". I don't think that is the optimal age.
I would have never.
I also
thought
hit my head, but that's because I'm a klutz.
I was gonna say that didn't come to mind because I'm never too tall for anything.
Anyway, let's jump in here.
Let's stop talking about height. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. We got it out of the way, and now
we did. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for letting us get to know you a little bit today, and we're excited to introduce you a little more to our listeners and connect you, maybe hopefully further across the country.
Amazing. Yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you guys, and thank you so much for having me.
Go ahead.
So we don't know a whole lot about you. Like you're not new to the scene, but we haven't had the chance to really connect a whole lot together. Why don't you tell us and tell the people listening a little bit about you, who you are, where you're from, all the fun stuff.
Totally. I honestly say I would honestly say that I am quite new to the scene. Like it's very, very fresh that I've joined into country music, and also that I've become like a solo artist. It's only been like for the last 2 years. So it's like it's happened pretty quickly, how much things have grown, which is really exciting. But I started out, I was born and raised in Weyburn, Saskatchewan. Spent like all elementary years and high school in Weyburn, and in high school I had a band that, like, we were a rock cover band, and we played some country tunes and stuff, and like we played in some bars around southern Saskatchewan, and like we were allowed to, as long as our parents were there as well, like, because we were 16, 17, and yeah, like that was really where I fell in love with, I would say, like, just kind of the scene of playing in rowdy places, and just the energy and excitement I get from being on stage. So I was with that band for 4 years, and like it's so crazy. Like you always think that like your first band is gonna be your like
Only band?
your ticket, like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
your thing that takes you to the top. And I still have so much love and respect for all the dudes that were in that band with me, but I realized that like I was really the only one. Like they all went to university and like got great jobs, and like I'm so stoked for them. The one dude works for Tesla now, like in California, and
Sweet.
the
Cool.
other one is like a psychiatric nurse, and the drummer is living in Victoria, and he's still in some schooling, and he is in schooling for some music as well. But like
Cool.
obviously Victoria was not going to work out for me. Like
No.
logistically it was not going to work out, and then kind of COVID put a whole damper on everything there too. And during the pandemic, I kind of found myself writing songs for myself, and not really like viewing them as something that I would ever take to the band. And I, yeah, just I started doing like little demos in my room and got some crappy recording. Well, I wouldn't say the recording equipment was crappy. I'd say I was crappy at using it. Uh, but like I was,
Honestly, fair.
User
yeah,
error, my favorite.
yeah. I mean, I was just
We're filled with those too.
yeah, I was good enough to get the ideas down. And then when the time kind of came to for the doors of the pandemic to kind of open, I would say is about like almost exactly 2 years ago now for in Saskatchewan. And my dad uh, said, "Hey, like we were living at Katepwa Lake in Saskatchewan, and I was working a full-time maintenance job there for the summer." And he was like, "Hey, like you should go to the local bar here and just say like." Uh, hey, I'll come in and play for free. And if you like what I do, you can pay me to come back. And it worked. I walked in there, and then I played it after that. Like, I packed the place, first of all. And then I played in that bar for like the following 6 weeks every weekend. And then it just kind of like spiraled to, hey, can you come play in my backyard? Or hey, my friend is running this music festival. Do you want to go up and play this festival in northern Saskatchewan? And I was like, sure. And then it all kind of came together to like I played 35 shows that summer while working a
Nice.
Oh,
full-time job.
so you were tired.
Tired.
I was tired. I was really tired, but
You're still tired.
I'm still tired. Yeah, I'm exhausted, but I love it because I realized two things that summer. I was like, okay, I made more money playing music than I made at the job, and I really like this grind. I feel so much reward from like just working so hard to book as many shows as possible, saying yes to everything, being exhausted except like loving every moment that I'm playing music for people.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of spiraled into like I moved to Edmonton. I met my now drummer, whose name is Cody Mack. Cody is not only a talent buyer, but also a freelance bass player and drummer. And he used to play for Haley Benedict actually, and like uh, still plays for quite a few art. He mainly now plays with myself and Jordan Pollard. Um, but he was booking me for all these solo shows because he books pubs. And I was like, Cody, you got to get me a full band gig, man. Like, you got to get me a gig. And he's like, I don't know if you're ready yet. I was like, dude, I'm ready. Get me something. And I just like, I was like a little kid asking for candy, man. I was like tugging on him, and I was like, Cody, come on, man, get me something. And then he got me. He applied for me to play the Alberta Agricultural Society showcase, and then he also, right around the same time, booked me to play my first headliner at Cook County Saloon in Edmonton, and both went extremely well. And I caught the bug of like wanting to play full band shows, So then I kind of just took on the role of booking. I was like, okay, I'm gonna fill the calendar. I'm gonna fill the calendar. Just go, 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 go. And I don't know how many shows we played in the last year, but it's a lot. It's like 120 plus. And
Congrats.
Good
That's
for
really
you.
cool.
Yeah, that's
thank you.
sounds exhausting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's so much fun. So yeah, that kind of brings us to where we are now. Like I have some help, great help, honestly, from Carla Hackman is my booking agent now. She graciously brought me onto the roster and is helping me with bookings. And yeah, it's been great. My band is incredible, and yeah, I've just got so many great people surrounding me, and that kind of, I guess that brings us to where I am at now.
Well, and that's really important, like to find the people that you can trust and to put around you. How did that kind of like fall together kind of organically, or like how did you know that who you were talking to was the person to be part of your team?
Basically, I did miss a part of the story. Uh, I went to a university, McEwen University for music, and that is where I met my now lead guitarist, Roman. And we had actually started like a university rock cover band. As like, I was just jumping from one rock cover band to the next. Like who's gonna play the Led Zeppelin with me, man? Let's do it. Like whoever it is, let's rock it out. Like, and yeah, Roman and I like became really good friends, and then pandemic hit, kind of spread apart, and then that brings us to where I met Cody. And Cody at first was really intimidating to me, and then I realized that he's not at all. And I don't know, I could just tell like that he had a lot of knowledge and experience, and then he developed like a belief in me, like he like could kind of, he's like, he didn't really say it exactly, but he's like, "You got it, kid. Like you can do it. And just was so motivating, and has never ever like, I feel like he's never led me astray, and he's given me a lot of criticisms, but they were all constructive to like make myself a better artist or more knowledgeable. So he was a no-brainer because also he was incredible. He started out on bass for me, switched to drums, and now he's just on top of his crap. Like he's on top of everything, and he's so, so good. And we were looking for a guitarist to come on this little run of shows, and Cody still now like will help me put together my bands, like for all our shows. And he's like, I know this Roman guy, like, I'm like, Roman Kozlowski? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, like, I used to be in a band with him. He's kick ass. Like, let's bring him on. And like, Roman and I had like kind of hung out a little bit, like, leading up, but like, not a whole lot. And he showed up to the gig in aviators, a white t shirt with a bright red leather jacket with Budweiser, king of beers. And I was like, dude, you got the job. Like, you get it. Like, I just bought him another one of those jackets like a month ago because, like, it's the signature look. And, like, the fact that he understood the look and the attitude that I wanted this band to have. My main goal to this day is, like, for the band to not look like a lead singer and three freelancers that like just met each other for the first
Fair.
time backstage, like
Yep.
That's fair.
I'm like playing with Roman's hair, he'll come like behind me and like pinch me, and like we're just like messing with each other the whole time yeah, it's a little flirty, I guess it's a little flirty, but
Got to do what you got to do to make it seem
yeah,
natural.
totally, yeah. I do find myself up at night thinking about him actually, so I don't know. No, but
We'll send this to him as a
We'll let
little
him
love
yeah,
letter.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think he knows. He knows. No, just kidding. My girlfriend doesn't know though. So,
Oh shit.
Ah,
Damn it.
don't let her listen.
No, yeah, you can't hear this one, sweetie. It's not that good. Uh, but yeah, so then Roman was a no-brainer, and then Carla, we had like a really long kind of road leading up to us working together, but it's because she was still with Sakamoto and like couldn't really bring on anybody new, and but she was still keeping in touch with me and like giving me some advice and encouragement. And then once she finally was like officially a free agent, she called me.
Pun intended.
What's that?
It's a pun intended because she's an agent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's funny. That's awesome. And she called me
But
up.
probably not free.
She called me up and she's like, "Hey, like, do you want to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's give it a shot." And once again, like, I can tell how much belief she has in me, and like that she's gonna work hard for me and will continue to work hard for me and get me the best opportunities possible. Um, and like same thing with my producers, like Chris Demas and Madison Nickel. Like I met them. I've honestly, I told Chris this the first time I met him. He plays drums in a band called Bleecker, a rock band out of Toronto. But he also has a project out of Regina called Surf Dads, and I was like a giant fan of Surf Dads. I just thought their music was so good. And my some friends of mine were like, "Hey, you should go work with Chris Demas," and I was like, "Okay." So I hit him up and like had just been a big fan. And like the first time I went over to his house to record, I was like, "Dude, I just gotta let you know, like I'm a big fan of yours." And he's like, "What?" And I was like Surf Dads and stuff. I really like your music. He's like, "Oh, thanks." Like he was like surprised to hear it. You know. But then from that moment on, it was like uh, we call each other like every week to like check in on. We're recording so much music right now. It's like so exciting. I just went and did 4 more songs like a week ago, and
Hmm.
we're just ready to put out tune after tune after tune, and he just gets it. And Madison Nickel is the other guy that works with us, and Madison is like the wizard of all things instruments, and he plays every single instrument except for the drums pretty much, and records vocal harmonies, and we just put together the whole track. It's literally just the two of them, which is crazy.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
and they do it in their own like remote studios, which uh gives me comfort in knowing that once something is recorded, it's never final. Like, of course, like when you
Hmm.
release it, like it's final, but
Yep.
it's not like, oh, we rented studio time and then what we tracked in the studio is what we have. It's like, no, these guys have studios in their basements that
Hmm.
they like if I told Chris that I needed him to change something on the drums, he would just go sit down at his frickin' drum kit and re-record it. It's like it's
That's
it's a
cool.
lot of freedom in that sense, and we have a lot of honesty too. It's like they'll send me something that they thought maybe was my vision. This has not really ever happened, but like they'll send me a mix and then I'll just send them notes back. I'm like, could we change this guitar part? Could we change this? Blah, blah, blah. And then they'll send it back and the changes are perfect. And then
Hmm.
it's like there's never a conflict of like, oh, I wish I could have explain this a bit better because my vision didn't come across. It's like, no, the vision lined up. We get it.
So you work well together.
Exactly. Our brains work. And like everyone, I think the biggest thing with a producer artist relationship is like, there, I've heard some producer stories of like friends will pay a producer that has all these accolades and stuff, uh, absurd amount of money to go record a song with them. And, and then they're not happy with the product because they can kind of tell that the producer just kind of rushed through it, and they're like, it's a paycheck for them. They're not that invested in the project.
Hmm.
They're like, they don't really care that much. These guys, they're like, dude, we are going to work on it until it's perfect, until you love it more than anything. Like this is our
Right.
baby. It's just as much mine as it is theirs, and vice versa. So yeah, just the dedication and the excitement around everything is just so good. And that's kind of my whole team right now. Like I don't have a manager. Uh, RPM has been great in terms of radio and getting me a bunch of press stuff. They're all like I wake up every morning with a new email from RPM and like something else I got to do, and like it gets me so excited because I don't mind the work. I don't mind it. I
Mm.
love working hard towards something that I know is gonna excel my career. So
So going from there a bit, so for people who don't know this yet or haven't heard, I don't know who hasn't heard this yet, but you had the opportunity to audition for American Idol.
yeah,
And you made it through the next rounds. What was that whole process like? A, how did that even come about? B, how like scary was it?
yeah. Very scary. That's all.
Very scary.
Very scary. But basically, I woke up one morning to a DM on Instagram, and it said, "Hi, my name is blank, and I'm a American Idol casting producer. I've seen your
When you get
TikToks."
that, are you like, are you?
Yes,
The
yes,
sketchiest DM ever.
yeah,
Are you kidding me? Everybody's a casting director and they're liars
yeah.
until they're not.
Totally. I'm surprised I didn't end up on a couch somewhere in California. But no, just kidding. I did end up in California, but anyways, yeah, it got really real really quick. Like I did like a virtual audition, which moved on to another virtual audition, which moved on to them actually like inviting me to Vegas, and I was like, free trip, yeah, let's go, like come on, and went down with my dad, and it was like 4 days in Vegas, and just so many background interviews. I'm trying to think of how many hours of footage they would have of me, you know?
Hours.
Oh,
Holy.
yeah, man. Like it's like, okay, go do this interview and then go do this other interview and then go stand by the window and act pensive while we film you. Like
Can you recreate that? What does that look? Yeah.
and then they're like, have some fear. I'm like, huh, like I'm like, come on. And they're like, yeah, we really like how your neck snapped a little bit when you got freaked out. I'm like, no, no, but it was so funny, like how much footage they would have, and like it was so funny too. Like I filmed a interview with Ryan Seacrest like right before I went into the room. Like I'm standing outside of the audition room. I filmed that interview with Seacrest 2 days before my actual audition.
Oh.
The magic of TV.
Right? Because they only have him. They only have him for like 1 out of the 4 days. Because he's like the busiest man in show business.
Yeah, I don't know
That's
how he
fair.
manages his schedule.
No,
Good for him, though.
I think it's drugs. I don't know.
And maybe some magic. Like how does he get it?
I don't know.
I
I
can't.
don't know. But yeah.
For the producers, I mean, he is a producer, but it must be the most frustrating schedule to work around.
Oh man, like
Totally.
he was all like, it was so crazy. His like assistant was saying like, yeah, he was just in New York 6 a.m. and now it's 11 a.m. and we're here and then we have to go to blah blah, and I'm like,
Holy shit.
dude, like,
And he still has to record a radio show.
yeah, like I don't know, and looks great. Like you can tell that he's had like some work done, but like he's still a very good looking guy in person.
Hollywood.
Yeah, same with all the judges. Honestly, all the judges look great, especially Lionel Richie for 73. That man.
You're not telling me there's no work done
Oh
there?
man, there's a lot of work done, but I don't care what it is. That man looks great. Uh, anyways, yeah, I went in for my actual audition, and
What was that like? Like, what was the feeling of walking into that room?
honestly, I wasn't that nervous because 2 nights prior, we were filming this like red carpet thing, like which was like the intro to season 21 or whatever, and all the judges were there, and I got a second to like talk to Luke and Lionel, and that's when I took that selfie with them. So like I had met them and had like a 30-second conversation with them already. So I was like, okay, like they're just normal people. Like it's chill. And so I walked in and I was honestly just really confident. And it's so funny how much they actually cut. Like, well, for me, they just cut me entirely. But like, but it's
I don't mean to laugh at that, but that's
it
funny.
is it's hilarious actually. But in the audition room, you're probably in there for like 10 minutes,
Mhm.
whereas like they might only show like 2 to 4 minutes on TV,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? So like I talked to them for quite a while, and um, uh, like just about being from Saskatchewan. Luke asked if I like to hunt and all this stuff, and then I finally got to sing, and I sang an original song called "Down That Road," and they really seemed to like it. And Luke compared it to Chris Stapleton meets Ed Sheeran, and I was like, okay, sick. Like I like that.
Cool. Those are some big shoes to.
I'm gonna run with that for the
Yeah.
rest of my
Totally,
life.
Yeah.
yeah, 100%.
Use that quote in your EPK from Luke
Yeah,
Bryan.
exactly. I know. And
Literally.
then Katie asked me if I could sing some Ed Sheeran, so I sang an Ed Sheeran song. I think, yeah, "Give Me Love" by Ed Sheeran, and they really liked that as well. And then Lionel smiled, and he's like, "I'd like to join the fan club. I'm giving you a yes." And then Katie called my dad into the room, and like my dad came into the room, and like uh, we lost my mom last July from pancreatic cancer, and that's like that was I don't really want to get into like that part of like American Idol, but everybody needs a narrative, and they're gonna
Yeah.
push whatever they need to push in order to get that narrative. And I was not a big fan of that, and that's about all I'll say. But
Okay.
Fair.
then my like they sympathize with my dad, and they're like, well, we gave your son a yes, and Katie wants to give you a yes, and then Luke gave me my third and final yes, and they screamed that you're going to Hollywood thing. And I went and grabbed my ticket.
That just gave me
Yeah,
goosebumps.
it was cool, man. And more interviews, of course, after the after
Yeah.
the golden ticket. And then yeah, we sent home, and Hollywood week was in December, and that was just so much fun. Like no sleep, but a lot of fun. You know, uh,
Mm.
first round was a solo round performance. We started with about 160 of us that had all gotten golden tickets out of like 120,000 applicants or something like that. Like it's
What the?
crazy numbers. So like just to be in that top group.
I feel like that's an achievement in
Yeah, that's what
itself.
I
Yeah.
thought. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And listening to all these folks, I was like, what the hell am I doing here, man? This is top notch. Like, but anyways, so there's 160 of us there, and we all do a solo performance, and this is like on the big stage. Like with the except it's Hollywood week, so it's just the three judges sitting there, and then the crowd is the other contestants. So
Yeah.
Oh.
that's intimidating because you're
Yeah.
always thinking that everyone's better than you. Literally,
As you
literally
should.
everyone, because all the judges are like singers. Luke,
Yep.
Luke did say he's like, you guys have something to be proud of. Everyone that's sitting here is better singers than the three of us sitting here. You know, it's like kind of funny. I don't know if I'd agree with that for Lionel and Katie, but like Luke isn't much of a singer. You know, he's just.
Savage.
I mean, no, he's got a good voice. He's got a good voice, but like he's not like crazy intricate. Like you should see these folks like they're doing crazy, crazy runs and stuff. I just say
Oh
that because
yeah.
I know Luke Bryan is not going to watch this, but like, I mean, maybe he will. Then he'll call me up.
What do you think of our
Maybe
show?
he'll call me up and he'll be like, "What the hell, dude?" But yeah, so I made it through that first solo round, and that got us to like the top 90, and then we got to pick our duet partners and came up with a duet we in like hours, and then had to go perform it on no sleep. And I performed with this girl named Eliana, and I thought we freaking killed it. Like we did I Want to Know What Love Is by Foreigner, and it was so good and so well harmonized, and like choreographed and the whole thing. And Luke said, I think that might be the best version of that song we've ever heard. And I was like, damn, thank you. And at that point, I thought we were both going through. I literally thought we were both going through. And then they cut her and kept me. And I was like, damn, like
Ooh.
that was. And they didn't really give a whole bunch of reasoning for cutting her. It was like, it's a stiff competition. That's all they said, really. And yeah, I was like,
Ouch.
damn. But anyways, that put me into the top 55. And that's when Hollywood Week kind of relaxed and got a lot more fun because like it wasn't as hectic of a schedule. There was 100 less of us now. It's like we don't have to do as much. And we had some days off, so went around LA with some of my new country friends and just went and we partied in the hotel rooms all the time, having fun, and it was
Sure.
great. And like we're just passing around a guitar and like everyone's singing, and oh man, those were the best times of the entire show, was in the hotel room just with my new friends. And did the top 55 performances, and I did a song called No Good by Kaleo. It's a pretty heavy hitting rock song. And it was with the American Idol band, like a 12 or 13 piece band with backup singers and the
Sweet.
whole deal, and like a crowd of like 600 or 700 people, like a live
Cool.
audience, right? And yeah, I felt so good about that performance, and I was walking off stage and I looked up in the balcony where the judges were, and they were all just giving me devil horns. They're like, ah! And I was like, oh, that's sick. And I walked off stage in that moment. I was like, if I make it through or not, it doesn't really matter. Like I'm okay with whatever happens. And honestly, I in the perfect world, going into the show, my biggest goal was to make it to that point, top 55. I didn't want to make the top 26 because, or top 24, they extended it to top 26 this year. But I didn't want to make that because the contracts that they present you with at top 26, they basically are like, hey, we're going to own your career. Like,
Mm.
of course, you get a bunch of exposure, but it's like at what price kind of thing. So my biggest dream with American Idol was like, make the top 50, make it as far as I can without making the top 26 and get airtime. Well, I did one of those things,
Mm.
which is
You did. You
great.
did.
And so, yeah, I got cut, which was like totally fine. Like I wasn't down and out about it or anything. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go back home to Canada and work on what I've already been working on. So,
I don't want to be in this American Idol thing. I'm a Canadian.
yeah, exactly. And like, I will put it out there, and I've said it before, that I don't want to do another show. Like, everyone's like, well, what's next? The Voice? I'm like, no. Like,
I feel like once you do one,
You get your experience, you learn from it, and that's good.
you would think, but honestly, there's like 6 people that made the top 24 that were already on The Voice, and like people that were on this season of American Idol already auditioning for The Voice and America's Got Talent and stuff. Like some of these people,
Wow.
some of these people's dreams is not to be like
you're right.
like their dream is to be famous from a TV show.
Right.
You're right.
That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Not everyone there had like the artist mindset, I guess.
Everyone has different dreams, I guess.
Of course, totally, and like completely respectable. I just know that reality TV is not my dream.
Not for you? Okay.
Yeah.
No.
It seems
Fair.
a little overwhelming.
So what is your dream then?
I'm living it.
That was inspiring.
I'm living it.
That was extra inspiring.
That is the cutest answer.
That
I'm serious.
I love
I'm
it.
seriously living it. And plug the new song, "Living the Dream." I'm.
That's literally why I
Yeah,
asked.
yeah. So yeah, I figured. So yeah, I'm seriously so content and still get so overwhelmed when I think about how far my career has come in just a short 2 years, and I'm like, wow, like this is so cool that like I'm going on a Western Canada tour, not just me and my guitar, but I got a band behind me, and I got one of my best, well, like a great friend coming on who are with me, and like we're just all jumping in a van, and we're gonna go and just play these shows, and like there's people coming to the shows. It's like people are buying
Who knew?
tickets.
What's a fan?
Yeah,
Fans?
fans? What? Like,
What?
and like looking out in the crowd in the last like 3 weeks of playing, like I haven't played that many shows in the last 3 weeks, but I was in Grand Prairie playing a string of solo shows, 6 nights in a row, 4 hours a night. Yeah,
That's a grind and a half.
yeah, I've done.
How do you still have a voice?
That's literally like, how are you keeping your voice?
Honestly, I I haven't lost my voice in over 2 years, which is
You knock on that wood behind you.
it's a wood picnic table. Uh, but anyways, like I do have like a great warm up and cool down routine, but I've just kind of found where my voice sits well, and like even when I am getting on the tired end of things, I've found ways that I'm able to push myself through, and yeah, and I've done that. I feel like that 6 nighter gig, I've done it like 6 or 7 times because it's in a bar that has live music 6 nights a week. So they bring in a new artist every week. And I've done it multiple times. And the first time that I went in, Cody, my drummer, he booked me in for the first time, not for 1 week, but for two. And I went and played 2 weeks in a row. And I was so
Holy moly.
in love with the music scene in Grand Prairie because there's open mics and concerts and stuff going on all the time. I had Sundays off. I sang on both Sundays.
You wouldn't go play
Like
open mic.
I just needed to be a part of
Oh
everything.
my god.
And I feel like doing that like conditions my voice. It's like a muscle, right? It's uh, yeah, it's gotten used to it. Anyways, I was on the last night of that 6 nights, and Living the Dream was requested 3 times that night. And like I mainly play just requests. Like I will play anywhere, anything from Blake Shelton to Eric Church to Britney Spears to Backstreet Boys. I don't give a crap. I'll play whatever. As and like normally it results in a $20 bill going into my tip jar. You know, like so it's like it's a good way to make a little living is like just being a piano bar guy.
Awful.
But when people start requesting your originals, you're gonna play that song. You know? So not once, not twice, but 3 times. And
Of
on the
course.
third time, I had noticed like every time it was requested, there were people that I had no idea who they were, but they were singing that song. And on the last time I played it, on the final chorus, I stepped away from my mic and I stopped playing my guitar, and I just let them sing. And there was like 15 to 20 people singing, "'Cause I spent all my money on the thing." And I was like, whoa, what? Like, damn. So like that was like, oh, like just one of those holy shit moments. Like this song started in my bedroom and then made like just worked its way up to this moment, and it's like now people want to hear it, and I'm like, that's really all I ever dreamed of. I just want to like not be starving and make a living from music. And I've said it before that like if things stayed completely static where they are right now and nothing grew from right here, I'd be okay. Like I'm content where I'm at. I love what I do, and I love the shows that we're playing. I love the fans that are coming up. Like it's so crazy to even think that like I have fans. Like that's just wild to me. Because it was so many years, like so long of just like begging friends and family to come to my show, you know? And now it's like people showing up and I don't even have to tell them to show up. They just show up. It's like, that's all I need. Like, it's so, so cool. And I couldn't be more grateful to be in the position that I'm in. Totally.
Wait, you've had a lot of holy
Totally.
shit moments in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Um,
hopefully there's a lot more to come.
well,
What do you have coming up next?
the Bad Night to Be a Beer tour starts on May 16th and runs till June 3rd. We're going all the way across Western Canada, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and BC. And May 16th is also the release day for Bad Night to Be a Beer, which is a song that I released 2 years ago, but we re-recorded it with my new team, and we're just really happy with how it turned out now. So I'm like, yeah, we got to put it out again to like just so this song gets what it deserves, kind of thing. So we're putting that out, and then shows all spring and summer. I think we're coming out your way in September during CCMA time. We're kind of planning a whole tour out to Ontario, and other than that, it's just like the plan is as many shows as possible, and a new song every 8 weeks.
That's a schedule.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
No worries.
No big deal.
Yeah, and
Well-
consistent a TikTok every day, and
Oh, Christ.
consistent Instagrams, and the occasional live stream, and then just
maybe-
enjoying life too. You know.
A nap here or there.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, when you come out to Ontario, be sure to let us know because we'd love to come check you out.
Totally. Yeah, I'd love to meet you guys in person. That'd be amazing.
And we'll be at the CCMA, so we'll see you there, hopefully.
Yes, amazing.
Right on. It was so nice to get to know you. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of our time. But yeah, stay tuned. If you're on the West Coast, you might see Brayden King in your town. And check out his new song coming out very soon.
Thanks so much, Brayden.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for listening to another episode of On The Porch with Front Porch Music. We're so lucky to be able to chat with artists and make episodes like this one. If you like the podcast, remember to rate and review us, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. It's the easiest way to support the show. Remember to check out frontporchmusic.ca to keep up with new music releases, exclusive artist interviews, and more. We'll catch you again on The Porch in a couple of weeks. On The Porch is hosted by Logan Miller and Jenna Weiser, and produced and edited by Jason Saunders. That's me. Our theme song was written, produced, and performed by Owen Wrigley.